that server recognition. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Legal Hour. My name is MC Chaka. I'm your host for this educative program. Tonight, we're here to talk about legal issues that will benefit most people from Africa and the diaspora. And I'm here with my renowned solicitor, lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. I'm going to welcome lawyer to the program. We've got a very interesting topic to discuss tonight. So please tell your friends, your family, everyone that you know to share this educative program, Legal Hour with MC Chaka. I'm here with lawyer. I'm going to introduce lawyer shortly. Please stay tuned. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. I've got lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo in the studio. Thomas, lawyer, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
It's always a pleasure to be here. This has become part of our life now. Uh, we are always here to interact with the audience and viewers who I'm sure have been benefiting from these programs that we've been doing for some time now. And obviously, today's program is quite special. It's also an opportunity for people to ask questions, people to ask questions that obviously, with my immense knowledge in the areas that I've specialized, I'll be able to answer them. So it's a free legal advice that is brought to you by City Law Solicitors. So it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, great. You're looking very smart as always. Anyway, let me ask you this before we start. You here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but one thing that one of our viewers prompted me anyway that every Thursday you come in tie looking extra smart, but on Thursdays you appear to be a bit casual with the tree program. Is there any magic to that in a way, lawyer?
That's quite
uh,
that's quite interesting. It's a very interesting question. No, it's not. At times, I appear to be quite official, and also it depends on my duties for the day.
Yeah,
But
I intentionally got you on the spot just to make you ready. I know you're ready, extremely ready for the tonight's program. And you know what? Tonight we're going to talk about litigation funding under the family law, most especially. But then we also talk about other aspects where you can get funding. So please make sure you invite people to enjoy and benefit from this topic that we've selected for tonight. So lawyer, let me ask you this because I know this is a lot of things that you've done for most people. Um, so if someone doesn't have money, if someone hasn't got money and needs to obviously file a case, what are some of the options that a person can obviously have in to get the legal costs covered if the person can't get funding for any aspect of their legal matters?
yes, obviously, as you said, we are going to look specifically at the family law. But the question you asked is quite broad, so probably I will take my time to answer it and look at some areas of law that people can still pursue their claims or defend claims even if they don't have money. Uh, so, for example, if you have uh, an employment claim, tribunal claim, now even if you don't have money, there are options available. For example, you can go into agreement with a lawyer under an agreed fee where there is what they call no win, no fee. So if the case is successful, the lawyer gets paid. If the case is unsuccessful, it doesn't get paid. So that's one option of funding. Now, most importantly, people also tend to lose sight, especially for employment, of the fact that there are a lot of most of our content insurance policies that do have a legal cover that cover things such as if you are unlawfully dismissed or unfairly dismissed from employment. But people tend to lose sight of that because I've had cases where sometimes people have been able to rely on their home content insurance policy to finance their claims in a tribunal. Now, obviously, cases such as personal injury and clinical negligence mainly uh, based on no win, no fee. So if you have a strong case, the lawyer is most likely to take up the case and then pursue the case to its conclusion with a view of succeeding in that claim so that he can also be paid. So you see that I've just mentioned two areas of law, but even if you don't have money, you can still be able to finance your claim by agreeing with a lawyer. Sometimes people could also take loan if they have a strong case and they feel that they are more likely to succeed in a claim. They can also take loan. So there are various ways of funding your claim, but sometimes people get terrified of the fact that there is a huge legal cost involved, and then they tend to just forget to pursue very meritorious claims that would have earned them a lot of money if they have ended up succeeding in pursuing that claim.
Okay. Lawyer, most of the people that obviously come to you, I think you've got a lot of clients who have got immigration issues as well. So when you talk about these fundings, is it applicable to immigration cases that you handle for your clients?
Yes, obviously, with immigration, most of the cases they come under private law, so they are meant to be financed by uh, the applicant. The legal fee will be paid by the applicant. There are exceptional cases like asylum and some very limited human right grounds where there is a legal aid for people to also make applications. And obviously, we've been also been making a lot of announcement on people who are also entitled to fee waiver. Now, there are various categories of people who make application under the human right. For example, if you have a child who is under sorry, under 18 and born here and has been 7 years old, or if you're a family, you have children, and you have no recourse to public fund. There are various options that if you don't have money to pay, you can obviously make an application for fee waiver, which will save you sometimes close to 2,600. And if you're a family, it will even save you up to about 10,000 pounds because I've dealt with cases where maybe three children with a mother, if you put it together, it's almost 10,000. So if you get a fee waiver, it saves you that amount of money, and paying the lawyer is just a pittance sometimes compared to that fees.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarification. Because a lot of people throw that question, I don't have money, but I need to be represented. And I mean, you've made it very clear. Thank you very much for that. One aspect of the family law that um, a lot of people don't really talk about or they struggle to deal with is divorce funding. What is divorce funding? Is there anything in regards to that you can get to fund for divorce?
Yes, again, currently, uh, before, and we have this is very sensitive and very controversial area of law, but I believe that we still have to talk about it because during this COVID, there have been a lot of cases around those areas, and there are those I'll call the underdog. They tend to suffer a lot. And I'm sure that by the time we finish this program, people will understand their rights. I am not saying that by educating people and make explaining things to people, by this advising them uh, to go on that route. All we are trying to do here is to educate people to that know their rights. Yeah, so it's a very sensible question. Sometimes when people are going through that, they are already overwhelmed with the emotions and all the issues involved. And sometimes the financial aspect becomes very, very devastating for them. But the fact is that there are various ways of funding it, depending on the individual circumstances. For example, currently there is government fund. Normally, if you want to go through mediation and there is a child involved, it's a way for people to try to resolve their dispute without necessarily going for divorce. And there are accredited mediators because obviously, if you're a lawyer, if someone is being represented by a solicitor or a lawyer, then they are meant to advise those parties to go for mediation. So currently, there is government fund allocated for some accredited mediators who, in the past, you would have paid for those services. But obviously, if you have a child in a relationship, for example, based on your mean test and all that, you may not pay that mediation fees. So that's one way that people can resolve their differences without going. But if things get worse, or where one person has already initiated the proceedings and the other person doesn't have money, then that is where the difficulty arises. And this is where people will look at various ways of raising funding to pursue the case. Because if people fail to pursue it, then they will end up not getting fair settlement in the course of the proceedings.
Okay, so talking about various ways, is there any legal aid for people going through divorce? Do they get can they get legal aid through that?
No, currently the legal aid only comes under the public law, which is when local authority is issuing proceedings to take people's children and all that. But obviously, there is no legal aid for people who are going through divorce. But there is legal help sometimes, depending on your financial circumstances. As I've said, even with the mediation stage, there is also funding there that those accredited people can claim depending on that circumstance. And then you can also get some legal help. Obviously, if you look at your financial circumstances, and then based on that, you could also get some help.
Oh, right. So, a lot of people sometimes say, "Oh, I can do it by myself. Divorce is very simple." So, would you say, why is it important or is it necessary to get adequate representative for your divorce cases? I mean, or for the proceedings.
Yes,
Why is it necessary?
yes, that's a very good question. You see, the point is that when people have been in relationship for a long time, they would have probably built things together, or one party would have made some sacrifices for the other party to have made some gain somewhere. Um, and the point is that when it gets to a stage where there is going to be that permanent separation, then we'll be talking about very, very complex uh, issues here, which involves various aspects of the relationship. For example, pension funds, uh, child arrangement for the children, maintenance for the spouse, um, settlement for or division of assets. So this involves very, very complex systems, uh, and therefore, without having adequate representation, probably that person may settle for less. So it is always significant and very, very, very important that people seek legal help and don't simply assume that it is a very simple matter that they can deal with.
All right, thank you very much. Viewers, if you've just tuned in, my name is MC Chaka. I'm here in the studio with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. This program is proudly sponsored by City Law Solicitors. They've been our backbone from day one, and we bring the program to you every Tuesday from 8:30 till 9:30, from 8:30, and it's an hour program. We're going to stick to the hour now. And on every Thursday, Lawyer does the tree version. So from the same time, 8:30, he's always here to do the tree version um, on Thursdays. Tonight's topic, we're talking about litigation funding under the family law. And Lawyer is briefing us on various fundings that we can get for our cases. And I've just asked him a question in relation to getting a representative, and he has just elaborated the importance of getting a representative for all um, cases. So I'm going to go back to Lawyer, but before then, Lawyer, let me throw this question before I acknowledge my viewers. Um, so why is it necessary to pay for proper advice on divorce proceedings? Because people will say, I'm going to pay for the advice. Why is it necessary for them to pay for that?
Yes, this is quite is one of the difficulties or the challenges that people go through. That's why we started by looking at various ways people can get help or funding or the sources of funding. Um, the point is that this question borders on equality of arms. Um, Even the court expects the parties to have equal footing, which means that, as I've said, people who are familiar with the family law will know that uh, this is the only proceedings that parties are always encouraged to negotiate and then come to settlement. That the court normally makes orders when all options have failed between the parties. So the question is, why is it necessary to look at it in this particular angle? The fact is that where, for example, the other party doesn't have money and this case is in court and he or she needs to pursue it, then the fact that the other party has more funds, she will be forced to settle on unfair terms simply because she will say that she doesn't have the money to fight the case. And because there is that, and it's very, very important that people take note, because there is that uh, duty on the parties to negotiate and settle, if the other party has more funds and is seeking to pursue the case, then the other party who is also involved in this matter need to also have this almost the same amount of money to pursue it. And in a case where they feel that I don't have the money to continue going to court every day, so let me just settle, then they will end up settling on a very, very unfair terms. I've seen people that have just settled simply because they feel that they couldn't pay for the representation. And then eventually they have found out that, oh, this person has cheated me in this process. But obviously, once you have settled and you've gone your separate ways, you can't come back and make further
Mm,
claims. So that's why it's important.
okay, that's good. Thank you very much for the explanation. Let me acknowledge our viewers. They mean a lot to us. Viewers are the motivation behind this program. They are the reason why we're here every Tuesday and Thursday to bring this program to you all. So I'm going to acknowledge a couple of viewers on Facebook. Um, Ramsey Noah, Kofi Nyameche. Ramsey says powerful. Ramsey says I'm here. Ramsey, I hope you're doing well. All right, Cornelia, our usual viewer. Cornelia is an admin. Great to know. Please just share now for invites. That's Cornelia. McBans, great. Cornelia is waiting. Yabua Jima, Kwesi Jima, my mate. How are you doing, Kwesi? I hope you're watching. Keep watching and make sure you share. Um, Gabriel Banankori is waiting. Gabriel says he's waiting. Gabriel, yeah, we've started already anyway. So thank you very much for tuning in. Um, Eric Nyako, my lawyer Bakope, I'm listening to you live. Great job. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Eric. Keep supporting this positive cause. Um, Raphael Nyame, very insightful. DJ Chaka, keep up the good job. Thank you very much, Raphael. Thank you for your motivation. Thank you. Um, Nana Frema, good evening, lawyer. Good evening, Nana Frema. Good evening. I hope you're watching and you're sharing for others to benefit from this as well. Okay, so we've got our viewers on Facebook. So lawyer is going to continue. We're very lucky and we thank God that Facebook is on today because yesterday there was a very big challenge, lawyer, isn't it? And that would have impacted or affected the program. But we're thankful to God that the program or the Facebook or all the social media handles are active today. This is what can happen in this world. So yesterday I felt really handicapped. I was like, wow, without it, I felt the world was coming to an end,
That's
but
true.
I'm so happy that it didn't happen today. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it was yesterday. All right, lawyer. This is a specific question from one of your viewers. It says, I gave up my work to look after our children. My husband is now divorcing me. I have no money. How do I pay for my divorce? That is a very deep question. It's from one of your viewers.
Yes, this viewer who have asked this question is very, very, very common phenomena. So whoever have asked this question, I really sympathize with you and just know that you are not in this struggle alone. There are a lot of people who are going through these challenges. Uh, the good news is that the law is mainly on the side of the underdog, provided those people know their right. And I'm sure, DJ Jaka, you know that
Of course.
the Bible will say that those that know their God shall call.
Exactly. At the right time.
Yes,
At the appointed
in
time.
the times of difficulty. Yes.
Mhm.
So yes, so it's a very common phenomenon, and a lot of people have been going through these difficult challenges. But the fact is that if that person is going through this and he has no money to perhaps defend the claim and see to it that there will be settlement on equal terms. And I have personally come across somebody uh, in the course of this practice who was in a similar problem. So my answer is quite technical and very, very uh, legal. The first point is that that person have to look at the circumstances, uh, whether they have assets. So if they have assets, or if they have assets such as house, whether offshore or within the UK, or they have uh, interest in companies or shares or that, the starting point is he has to approach the estranged spouse and let that person know that, look, you have brought this upon the family, you want to go. At the moment, I don't have money to pay. So I want you to pay for my defense or for me to pursue
That's it. Yeah.
this petition or
Mm.
to respond. And it, uh, it appears crazy, but it is very, very logical.
Mhm.
So if that person refuses, and you know, for example, where there is assets, so the starting point is for that person to put in a claim in the family court, obviously, where they have issued the proceedings, so that there will be a determination of assets. Now, simultaneously, that person can also put in a financial order. So the court will be able to assess their access. And that determination will give an indication how much that person is entitled to. So based on that, the other party, an order could be made for the other party to finance the proceedings on behalf of the party that does not have the means to finance its own proceedings. As I've said, this is very, very technical, and I'm sure
Mm.
people may be able to ask questions, but this gives an assurance that if you are in that situation, there are obviously options if you don't have that money. So, as I've said from the beginning, the law is on the side of the underdog when it comes to these proceedings, just that people should know their rights and know how to exercise it so that they can have equal settlement or equal terms of settlement when those issues arise.
All right. Thank you very much, lawyer, for that explanation. And I believe the viewer that posed that question will be very happy and be content with the explanation you have given. Well, viewers, if you've just joined us, my name is MC Chaka. I'm here with lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from CITI Solicitors. They've been our backbone, the main sponsor for this program that we bring to you every Tuesday from 8:30 p.m. And then on Thursdays, lawyer does the tree version. Our topic for tonight is litigation fundings under the family law. So lawyer has briefed us on the various fundings that we can get for our proceedings. Let me look and see if we've got people watching that I need to acknowledge. Eric Nyakon, my lawyer Bakope. Um, Raphael Nyame, very insightful. Keep it up, MC Chaka. Okay. Richard, we see Adinkra. Okay, Richard, your question, we come back on that later on. I will not skip the question. I'll come back to your question at the latter part of the program. Okay. Um, okay. Um, okay, Chioma Cyril. Good evening, Tommy. Keep doing great. Thank you very much, Chioma. Um, Thank you very much. So viewers, we're here till 9:30, and obviously lawyer is answering all the questions to the best of his ability. We've got a lot of legal terms coming up right now, but then I trust lawyer to obviously digest them. You know, when we were in secondary school, that we were talking about digestion is a breakdown of food into smaller particles. Now, this is what lawyer is going to do with the law. I'm going to ask him some legal terminologies, and he's going to break it down and explain to layman's understanding. So keep watching and make sure you get your friends, your family, and everyone to obviously be part of this program because it's very educative. Keep watching. Lawyer, this question is very important, and a lot of people have been asking me about this. So obviously, it's good that you educate or you throw some light into that. When we talk about um, litigation funding, litigation funding is a very big terminology. It's a big legal term. What is the meaning of that litigation funding?
Yes, as I've said from the beginning, there are various ways people can fund their litigation. For example, under civil litigation, where people have had a dispute, let's say commercial dispute, and then they have no means of financing their claim or defending the claim, uh, they can resort to what they call litigation funding. Now, liquidation funding, they are the funders who provide upfront funds for people to obviously finance their proceedings because we all know that it is quite expensive to pursue claims in the court. So sometimes you may have a dispute with someone, you know you are right, you know that uh, if you were to take this matter to court, you will win the case. Obviously, the good thing is that, especially in the civil litigation, if you win the case, whoever wins get his cost paid off by the loser. So the loser pays the winner's fee, legal fees. But the point is that if that particular person does not have the means to initiate the proceedings in the first place, then in this case, litigation funder becomes quite necessary, and what people will call in finance lender of last resort. So litigation fund in a layman language is like paying for your funding, your legal fees on your credit card. But it's very significant when we look at the family law aspect of this litigation funding because it's quite distinct. And the reason being that there are certain criteria that somebody, I've already explained right from the onset, even though I was a bit legalistic, how people can get the other party to finance their proceedings if they feel that there is a matrimonial asset such as house, they have a rental property, they have other properties, companies here and there. They can get the other party to finance their proceedings. And I've directed uh, viewers how they can make those claims. The starting point is they file a claim for the court to determine their financial claim, and simultaneously they make legal application for legal provision order. In that legal provision order, the judge, obviously, before that order is made, whoever is representing that party, that solicitor, need to give an indication how much legal cost is, and then the court will take into account, and funds will be allocated to that underdog who doesn't have money to pay for uh, his or her legal fee. But if before you proceed to that stage, sometimes you need to show that you have sought litigation funding and you've not been able to obtain this litigation funding. So for you to obtain the litigation funding, obviously there are also criteria under the family law, especially for you to fulfill. First, you must show that there is, for example, an asset that can be easily disposable. So, for example, if you have two houses and one is for rental property, then obviously you can easily demonstrate to the court that that asset can be easily disposable. And under those circumstances, you'll be able to get funding from litigation funders who finance the proceedings. And at the end of the proceedings, when you have gotten fair settlement, obviously because of the better legal representation, you can then pay these legal litigation funders. So it's more or less like paying for your funding on your credit card.
Okay, well understood. But my question is, so if you are living in a family house where you've got children, in the house as well, would you still be eligible? Will you be able to, apply for this litigation funding, and which, process, or how can you go by this?
You know, I enjoy this doing this program with you because your level of intelligence is so amazing. And this is a very, very sensible question, and I must applaud you for that.
Thank you,
Yes,
lawyer. Thank you.
yes. So the point is that uh, I hope viewers will also pick points from all some of these things that I'm saying. The point is that when I kept on referring to rental property and all that, the reason be, and you picked up on that one, which
Mm,
is quite good.
yeah.
If you are living in the matrimonial home with children,
Mhm.
we all know that it's always very difficult for that property to be sold. Uh, and therefore, litigation funders, it is a private funding, just like when you go to the high street bank to seek loan. Uh, this normally the difference between this loan is that they know that at the end of the proceedings, that asset is going to be easily disposable. And then upon the disposal of the asset, they will be able to get their money back. So they are putting in that litigation fund there and expect to receive the full fund at the end of the proceedings. That's what they call litigation funding. So if you are living in a family home with children, then obviously any litigation funder will probably consider it that it will be difficult for that asset to be disposed of. And under those circumstances, I'm sorry to say that those people may struggle to get litigation funding.
Mm, okay, that's a very interesting one. Anyway, um, lawyer, I know you. I mean, we're gonna go for a break, but before we go, there's another question that I need to ask you, in regards to the divorce. So if, for instance, husband and wife are living together, and let's say they have asset, can one force the other one to pay for the legal fee? There's a court fee, there's a legal fee as well. Can one force the other party to pay for the legal fee if they have asset?
Yes, this is similar to the previous question that
Yeah.
you asked. Obviously, it is more or less the same procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, if the asset is in the other party's name, uh, then that person hold it under the Matrimonial Causes Act on trust for the benefit of the parties in the marriage. So again, if it can be demonstrated that that person, there is a lot of equity in the house, and that person can do remortgage in order to get some funds to give it to the other party to finance their own proceedings, then the law makes it clear, as I've just said, that person again can make initial application for determination of their finance and simultaneously making legal provision for that application, which I've just explained. And under those circumstances, that party that holds that particular property in its own name will be compelled to finance uh, the other parties who hasn't got anything, no money at all, uh, got it paid. So it's quite crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it is the law, which means that the other party
Mm-hmm.
may be forced to pay for, the legal fee of the person he's fighting in court. But provisions are in the law
Mm-hmm.
that people can rely on. But sadly, most people don't know this, and they start running Harris scatter when they have all these issues. The law is clear. It's all about getting the right lawyer to
Mm-hmm.
advise you.
That's right.
And I have seen a lot of these cases. Most times I don't comment on people's cases, but when people start complaining, oh, I don't have money, I can't do this, I can't do that. The truth is that it's all about you knowing your right. The family law is quite clear. You can get the other party to pay for these proceedings. And most times people have even lost houses because they don't know what to do, and then eventually they get into so much trouble. You know.
All right. Thank you very much, lawyer, for that. Viewers, if you've just joined us, you are watching Legal Hour with MC Chaka and lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. This program is proudly sponsored by City Law Solicitors. City Law Solicitors, they are based in Unit 113 Barking Enterprise Center, 50 Cambridge Road, Barking, SS IG 118FG. Um, for the benefit of those who might not be able to call today, if you want to talk to a lawyer, he's got his learned colleagues in the office. You can contact them on 02033 550782. That is 02033 550782. They are specialized in immigration law, employment law, family law, personal injuries and clinical negligence, commercial disputes and civil litigations, housing law, consumer law, media and entertainment law. So all aspects of law, you can contact City Law Solicitors and your legal matters will be resolved. We're going to go for a short commercial break. When we come back, few questions for lawyer, and obviously I'll open the phone lines for viewers to call in and ask questions. And I'll ask on that particular question that was posed on our Facebook comment. So we're going to go for a short commercial break. Please don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. The program is on with MC Chaka and lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo. So, we've got a few questions for lawyer, and of course, we're talking about litigation fundings under the family law. What are the options? What funding can we get for all our legal processes? Lawyer has elaborated quite a lot of opportunities or options that we can apply for our funding. More questions for lawyer. So, lawyer, in regards to the litigation, what procedure or what process can one follow? I know you've outlined some of them. What process or procedure can one follow to make sure that they'll be eligible for that and that it will not fail?
Yes, as I started uh, by addressing some of these issues under the various areas of law, uh, normally with employment, for example, people can have an agreed fee with their lawyer, and then it could be a conditional fee agreement where if the party is successful, she gets a percentage of the compensation. The same applies to clinical negligence and personal injury. Obviously, under the family law, it is quite a specialist area. Uh, it's slightly different. The reason being that it is not a case of no win, no fee, because most times parties, it's only in a very extreme circumstances that somebody could be ordered by the court to pay the other party's costs. But obviously, I've explained how those people can finance their proceedings if they don't have money. But they could also look at other sources of funding. For example, uh, maybe getting a loan from a family member. Some may use their credit card. Some may also agree with their lawyers that maybe they will pay the fees at the end of the proceedings. That's what they call agree freed uh, with their lawyers, so that the legal cost gets paid at the end of the proceedings, especially when there is an asset again that can be disposable. And that probably is a preferable option compared to the litigation funding, because under those circumstances, probably there will not be an interest.
That's right.
Whilst with litigation funding, there will be an
An
interest.
interest.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, lawyer. Another question that I want to ask, assuming couples have got properties abroad and they're going through divorce, can the law in UK obviously be or enforce them to share the properties or to obviously bring justice for both parties to have a fair share in the properties?
Yes, normally when it comes to we get to disclosure of assets, parties are required to disclose both offshore uh, properties and those in the UK. So under the Matrimonial Causes Act, that is also something that parties are obliged to disclose. Yes, so it is possible.
Lawyer, so if let's say my partner and I we've got a building or a structure in Ghana and we're going through this process, and obviously we've though we've not disclosed it to them earlier on, but then now we're going through the process and we have to disclose in the course of the legal proceedings. Can they put some measures in place whereby the property in Ghana we can sort of either share it equally or deal with it according to the UK law rather than the Ghana law?
Yes, obviously, once the case is being dealt with here, then the court here will have the jurisdiction to even deal with the offshore properties. So it is possible for the court here to deal with all those offshore properties that the party either own in their joint names or individual names.
Okay, viewers, this is a very good explanation that lawyer has given. So if the court here has got the jurisdiction, then they will be able to deal with the offshore properties. So it's something that we all need to take into consideration because many a times people will say, "Oh, I've built something secretly," and then when obviously is revealed, or when there's an evidence to prove that the partner is part of it, then there will be some sort of jurisdiction whereby the court will be able to deal with that matter. So that is a very good explanation lawyer has given. Um, Viewers, I'm going to acknowledge my cherished viewers, obviously. Lawyer, and I'll ask you this question. I didn't want to skip it. Let me ask this question. His name is Richard Ewusi Adinkra. Richard has got a question. It's got anything to do with the family law. He wants to talk about how one can get a permanent resident in any EU country. Please ask a lawyer for me. How can one get a permanent resident permit in any of the European countries? Okay, so lawyer, he's one of your viewers, so please do him the honor and then answer the question for him. Thank you.
Yes, it's a very broad question because obviously I'm very hesitant to give advice in other jurisdictions that I'm not qualified. Uh, but of course, I can talk about an EU law. Uh, and then I can also talk about the law in the UK when it comes to route to settlement. So for those who may come in as students, uh, obviously, whilst they are here, we now have the post-study
Mhm.
route, which means that when people have finished their degrees, they might be able to renew it for another 2 years. This used to be the case, and then it was cut off and it has been reinstalled. And then while they are here to, what if their circumstances change, uh, that could also lead to either through a spouse
Mm.
route or other that they have lived here for 10 years and then eventually for lawful residents they can also get settlement. Uh, I'm sure the UK is no longer in the EU, but those who are the member states may still apply the EU law. So if, for example, he is in a relationship with any EU spouse, then of course he has the right to for free movement of the family members for those parties who are still signed up to the EU member states treaty, and that could also lead to settlement. Again, I can't advise on their domestic laws because I am not qualified to provide that advice.
That's one thing I like about lawyer. I mean, he knows his jurisdictions. Obviously, he doesn't go beyond his boundary, so that is really good. But then the advice he's given is in relation to the UK policies or the UK law. So please bear in mind, Obibini. All right, Obibini Techi. Obibini says, I'm a late comer. Obibini, better late than never, though. That's right. I like that. But please try and come early. We start 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday, and then lawyer does the tree version on Thursdays from the same time, 8:30 p.m. So please take note. Um, so, viewers, oh, let me acknowledge Obaya Pukia. This program is powerful and very informative. Thank you, lawyer, for your explanation of legal issues. So glad to listen to your program every week. Chaka, I greet you. Thank you very much, Obaya Pukia, Mami You. Yes, Mami You. Thank you very much for watching. And please make sure you share for others to benefit from this program as well. So, viewers, it's time to open the phone lines. Um, so we've spoken about family law today, litigations, funding. Um, but then your questions shouldn't be restricted to only the topics that we've discussed today. You can ask any question. We're very conscious of time. So we've got about 5-6 minutes to go. So please make sure you contact us. The studio number is at the bottom of the screen. If you look at the bottom of the screen, if you're watching us from Facebook, you see the studio number there. When you call it from outside and you want to be part of it, then you add 0044. But then from the UK, the number is 07932934518. 07932934518. The other line is 0744 033 8623. The number once again is 0744 033 8623. These are the two studio numbers. Please call and then you can ask lawyer any question at all that you want. Um, and I would like to remind you, City Law Solicitors, they are our sponsors for this program. They are based at Unit 113 Barking Enterprise Center, 50 Cambridge Road, Barking SS, IG 118FG. If you want to talk to them after this program, the office number is 02033 550782. The number once again is 02033 550782. That is the office number. If you call and lawyer is not available, his learned colleagues are there. They are equally good. They'll be able to respond to your queries, and if you need directions or whatever you want, they'll be able to direct you. So please make sure you contact them, and then they'll be able to support you. And then also let me remind you that City Media Radio is coming live. Hopefully, touch wood from next week. So viewers, you can equally listen to this program on the online radio, which you'll benefit from. So if you're unable to go to Facebook or YouTube, you can subscribe or you can tune into our online radio. Modern Ghana is active actually about Modern Ghana. So if you go to Modern Ghana site, you should be able to listen to the radio at this point of time. So we've got a few minutes. We're still waiting for you to call. Any questions? Lawyer is ready to answer. Lawyer, before as I always do, before they go, can you give a final summary, or I mean synopsis of what you've just spoken about, just briefly, under 2 minutes for me, please, briefly.
Yes, I must start by thanking both viewers and listeners who have always been there to support this program. It's always a pleasure to be here in this studio and to come and have this interaction with the audience. Today, we've been looking at litigation funding. In fact, we've looked at various ways of funding litigation. We've looked at employment law, clinical negligence and personal injury, civil litigation. And we've also looked at specifically the family law and some other divorce or matrimonial, those under the Matrimonial Causes Act. And we've looked at it extensively and have realized that uh, if parties are struggling with those issues, I must stress here that this program is only to educate people of their rights, to make people aware that when they are going through those challenges, we know about the emotional difficulties, and we just want to make people aware that there are support under the law, and people may be able to pursue those claims by relying on that support or the provisions under the law. But I'm not by this encouraging people uh, to simply say that lawyer has said that this is the case, so I am now going that route. I am not. I am for family, um, and I believe that people should live together in happiness and enjoy the relationship that family provides for all of us. Uh, but obviously, I've also come across a lot of people that are going through these difficulties due to lack of finance. And it was considered that it would be wise to enlighten people that there are provisions under the law that makes some of these supports available to them when they're going through those difficulties. So it's been a pleasure having this interaction with you tonight. As I always say, City Law Solicitors is here to build that community that will be enlightened, community that will know their right, people that will be able to know what to do in the midst of difficulties and challenges, and especially they will be so abreast of the law. this is what City Law Services brings to you this evening. Amongst all, we specialize in numerous areas of law. We do personal injury and criminal negligence, family law, as we have demonstrated our knowledge this evening, that we can support you if you ever needed our assistance. Employment law, if for whatever reason you've been dismissed, you suffered discrimination at the workplace, bullying and harassment, you can always call on City Law Solicitors. If you're having commercial disputes, civil litigation, uh, we are here for you. Those of you who have consumer uh, disputes, for whatever reason, you purchase something and there is a problem, or you sign up to insurance policy, you don't want to pay out when you are due for claim, we are here to support those people. So City Law Solicitors always brings you the best. All of you are welcome to come to us for your legal needs.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo from City Law Solicitors. City Law Solicitors always brings you the best, and he just confirmed that. With his evidence, his knowledge in the employment law, he's done it in immigration law, all aspects of law. Tonight we've done the family law. So look no further, but then City Law Solicitors. Viewers, it's been a pleasure having you on board. My name is MC Chaka. I've been your host for this educative program. Next week, I'll be here same time, but then on Thursday from 8:30 p.m., Lawyer will be here and do the same program with the tree version. So I understand some of the legal terminologies might be a bit challenging for some people. So Lawyer will break it down in our tree dialect, and everyone will be able to understand it clearly. So if even you've listened it today and you want to know more, please make sure 8:30 p.m. on Thursday you subscribe or you check the Facebook Thomas Beyebenwo, YouTube Thomas Beyebenwo, Solicitor Thomas Beyebenwo, and obviously you'll be able to enjoy this educative program. My name once again is MC Chaka. It's been wonderful. It's been amazing having you on board. I would like to say happy birthday to you, my main man Zoe. I know you're celebrating your big day today. I will speak to you back door. And also, Lady Cynthia, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Enjoy your birthday. I'll call you back door, Lady Cynthia. Enjoy. I wish you happy birthday. May the Lord bless you in thousand folks. Cynthia, may God bless you. So thank you very much, viewers, for watching this program. Until we meet again on Thursday at 8:30 with Lawyer Thomas Beyebenwo, I'll say bye-bye to you from the studio. Thank you very much for watching. Have a pleasant evening.